Welcome to Vital Voices of the Environment, a Marstel Day production. This is Rebecca Rubin. I am here with SherriGoodman. Ms. Goodman is General Counsel and Corporate Secretary of the Center for Naval Analyses, CNA, a nonprofit think tank which provides analysis and solutions for national security leaders and public sector organizations. She is also the Executive Director of the Military Advisory Board for CNA's project on national security and the threat of climate change. Ms. Goodman was the Deputy Undersecretary of Defense for Environmental Security from 1993 to 2001. Ms. Goodman has twice received the Defense Department Medal for Distinguished Public Service, the Gold Medal from the American Defense Preparedness Association, and EPA's Climate Change Award. Sherri, what is environmental security?
Environmental security is the natural resource dimensions of our strategic interests. Increasingly, we are aware that natural resources, water, food, energy, and climate change also have a significant dimension to our strategic interests.
How did you go about getting the message out, both within the Defense Department itself and to other federal agencies, the EPA, the Fish and Wildlife Service, and to any other actors on your stage? How did you get the message out to them that the Pentagon was serious about environment?
Well, the first step was listening and learning what others had to say about the Defense Department's environmental programs. And that meant being willing to listen to criticism of the Defense Department by other federal agencies, whether they were environmental or natural resource agencies or non-governmental organizations, environmental organizations, state and local governments, and related groups. And people are more likely to change if they are recognized for what they're doing well. And that was very important in DoD because the military services and particularly our men and women in uniform who have a great deal of honor and pride in their work defending our nation and are willing to give their lives for duty, honor, and country, are very proud of what they do. So it was important to motivate within the Defense Department to recognize people for the good work that they had been doing and wanted further to be recognized for, and at the same time giving them incentives to improve and to change practices, and also to be more open to listening to others.
What are the most important resources to find in whatever terms you want to use that we as a nation need to bring to the climate crisis?
Well, we have to be willing in the United States to take bold and decisive action to reduce our emissions of heat-trapping gases. That means we have to put a price on carbon, whether through a tax or a cap-and-trade system. We need to show American leadership in order to get other major emitters, such as China and India, to the table, without which we will not have a successful international agreement. If we don't act within the next few years, we will face more of what we are already seeing today, which is increased extreme weather events, hurricanes, tsunamis around the world. Today, here in mid-September of 2008, we have seen experiencing the first opening of both the northwest and northern passage of the Arctic. And this is historic because sea ice is melting in the Arctic at an astounding rate, well beyond what scientists have predicted. And that is heralding a new era of access to the Arctic, access to the Arctic's energy, mineral resources, for transportation, for other potential competition of strategic consequence among the Arctic nations. And that's just one example, and there are many more. Climate change threatens to move millions of people from coastal regions that are inundated by storms and sea level rise and lack of access to fresh water. Millions potentially from Bangladesh into India, from the Caribbean and other parts of South America into the United States. Already we're seeing that waves of immigration and migration from North Africa into Europe, exacerbated, not caused only by, but exacerbated by drought and other conditions that climate change adds additional stress to, putting pressures on even stable societies. And those can become breeding grounds for the conditions that are ripe for terrorism and fanatics to take place when you have millions of people who have not enough access to the basics of life, food, water, and shelter, and become desperate and find ways to potentially harm others.
This has been Vital Voices of the Environment, a Marstel Day production.